Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. Before we get into your stories in detail, let's take a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
Ishini Wickramasinghe, the Director General of the Department of National Zoological Gardens, resigns from her position. Another tamed elephant released from the Pinnaval Elephant Orphanage based on a court order. 20 million worth of ice narcotics seized in Wattala. The World Health Organization urges rich countries to hold off booster shots until next year.
Starting off with a look at your top stories for this afternoon. Now, steps have been taken to open all economic centres across the island, both today and tomorrow. Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Alutkamage said that only wholesale trade will be conducted at the economic centres. Farmers had brought in large stocks of fruits and vegetables to the Dambulla Special Economic Centre. According to our correspondent, heavy traffic was seen at the economic centre as farmers brought in their stocks since last afternoon. Prices of fruits and vegetables were at a normal level. The Colombo Manin market received large stocks of produce from provinces across the island today. However, there were only a limited number of merchants at the market. Farmers brought in large stocks of produce to the Special Economic Centre in Kapetipola. The Commissioner General of Essential Services, Major General Senarath Newnella, said that steps will be taken to issue stocks of food to traders after they are seized by the government under the emergency regulations that were promulgated recently.
The Commissioner General of Essential Services said that the stocks of food seized are being distributed to retail and wholesale traders under the control price. He added that the Secretary to the Ministry of Trade has been advised to personally oversee the program. Steps have also been taken to prepare a name list of traders within the assistance of district secretaries.
A discussion between rice mill owners and the Trincomalee District Secretary was held at the District Secretariat yesterday.
Discussions were held on the steps taken by the Consumer Affairs Authority to raid and seal off several rice mills in the Trincomalee district during the past few days. We will purchase rice from you at the stipulated price. The government has imposed a control price. Do not exceed that price in the future.
The Govibime Mithuro United Farmers Organization, that is under the Parakrama Samudra Farmers Movement, convened a media briefing today. The farmers spoke about the fluctuation in prices of paddy and issues in obtaining fertilizer. The bottle of oil that we purchased at 1,000 rupees has risen to 3,000 rupees. Fertilizer sacks were purchased at 5,000 rupees. The paddy that we produced by bearing such costs is now being purchased by the government at a controlled price of 50 rupees. The government has intervened to reduce the prices of paddy and not to increase it. I would like to request for a commission to be appointed and for these matters to be looked into. Is this income enough to maintain the families of farmers? The government suddenly banned the import of fertilizer and pesticides. What should we do if the Sena caterpillar infests our crop? What can we do if other pests infest our crops? Give us a solution to these issues first.
The
government is asking us to produce organic fertilizer. The farmers are producing this fertilizer on the promise that 12,500 will be paid per hectare. We do not want organic fertilizer. We will pay the government 25,000 rupees for 5 acres. Give us good fertilizer.
Salli,
All farmers have stored their paddy stocks. They have reaped their harvest and now have nowhere to sell their produce. Private traders are forced to purchase these stocks at 50 rupees. But our cost of production is about 60 to 65 rupees. Prices of all goods have increased. I would like to request the government to increase this price to 65 or at least 60 rupees. Do not leave the farmers helpless. The farmers are fed up of farming. The Govibime Mithuro farmers are not the only farmers who have been affected by the issues that have given rise to as a result of the lack of a proper price for the paddy that they purchase. Here are some more farmers that have been affected by the same issue, this time from Rajarat.
2,500 acres of paddy lands have been cultivated and the harvest have been reaped in many villages including Gamunupura, Telhiriava, Maliyadevapura, Tismanepura and Samanneliya in the Tambuttegama Divisional Secretariat. However, farmers point out that there is no fixed price for their produce. The profit of our produce is low this time. Wages paid to use pesticides and to reap the harvest have increased. The certified price paid to farmers for 1 kilo of their harvest is not much. This season we had to cultivate without pesticides and fertilizer and protecting our cultivation from elephants. Our cultivation is 40% less this time. The buyers purchase our harvest at 50 rupees. The main issue at the moment is not having a fixed price for paddy. If we can sell 1 kilo of Nadu rice for 60 rupees, that would be quite a victory. With the problems that we are facing at the moment, we will not be able to survive furthermore. Even though the government said that they will purchase paddy from us, they didn't as of yet. Farmers point out that the reason for the drop in harvest is due to the shortage of fertilizer. Paddy that was sold at 56 rupees is being sold at 50 rupees. I do not know what the government is trying to do. The government gave a fixed price for rice but decided to sell 1 kilo of paddy for 50 rupees. It is the farmer who is battered by this. Now the farmers have fallen from the frying pan to the fire. There is no fertilizer. The farmers have to be careful from the government, not from anything else. That is the present situation of the country. These were the views expressed by the Samagi Jana Balawega on the issues faced by farmers in the country at a media briefing convened yesterday.
We saw that the Ministry of Agriculture was preparing to set up a monopoly on fertilizer imports by issuing a cabinet paper recently. As a country, we have all seen the results and consequences of letting 12 companies to import sugar instead of 67 companies. Similarly, the Ministry of Agriculture is trying to give a monopoly of 87% of agricultural imports to a single company from this cabinet paper. There is room for an increase in price. At the end of the day, it will increase from the crops that the consumers receive.
It is very clear that they are trying to benefit their cronies by bringing in organic fertilizer. Therefore, do not destroy the traditional paddy production of this country by doing this. They are so concerned about the kidney patients, but there are other things that needs to be banned as well.
Minister of Ports and Shipping's Rohit Abegunawardena said that emergency regulations were brought into effect to protect consumers. They are asking if we need emergency regulations when there is a shortage in goods. This is more dangerous than a war or terrorism. When people who have lost their livelihoods due to COVID-19 don't have food to eat, are we supposed to let them die of hunger? The decision of the government was to impose emergency regulations and teach these corrupt businessmen a lesson and give the people the concessions that they need. We are not afraid to do that. They are saying that these are all allies of the government. If they are allies, why are they being raided? The rice mill of a state minister was also raided. The law is equal to all. Moving from the issues surrounding Sri Lanka's essential food items to issues that have been faced by teachers and principals. In case you haven't noticed, it has been 2 months since the teachers and principals trade union strike action began, seeking solutions for the salary anomalies that they face. All Ceylon Teachers Union, convening a media briefing today, expressed their stance on this matter.
The students of this country have been severely impacted because of the government is unable to provide a solution for this issue. There is an opportunity to discuss and solve this matter, but the government keeps postponing that. The students and the parents do not have access to online education these days. How can we expect that a cabinet paper will be presented? They have to hold discussions and make a decision. Just because a cabinet paper is presented, this problem would not be solved. We have urged the authorities to give us an opportunity to hold discussions with them, but our efforts have proven futile. That is the reason why this is being dragged. If the students in this country are facing injustice, the sole responsibility of that falls under the government.
අසාධාරණයක් තියෙනවා ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක වගකීම ආණ්ඩුව බාර ගන්න ඕනේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ දිගින් දිගටම ඇදගෙන යාම තුල.
The Director General of the Department of National Zoological Gardens, Ishini Vikramasinghe, has stepped down from her post. The resignation comes in the wake of a controversy over the release of tamed elephants in the custody of the department. The Director General of the Department of Zoology, Ishini Vikramasinghe, said that a letter has been sent to the minister in charge of the subject informing him of her resignation. Her resignation took place in the backdrop of the recent release of tamed elephants held at sites under the Department of Zoological Gardens in the wake of a legal controversy where the elephants' ownership was contested. The 13 elephants held at the Udawalave and Pinnavela elephant management sites under the Department of Zoological Gardens were released back to their contested owners under an order issued by the Colombo Additional Magistrate yesterday. Vikramasinghe, a passionate environmental activist, was instrumental in introducing several progressive changes to the Department of National Zoological Gardens and also won the respect of conservationists in her efforts to help COVID-19 stricken animals at the zoo.
Another tamed elephant kept at the Pinnavela Elephant Conservatory was released to its original owner this morning. The Colombo Additional Magistrate has issued an order to release 13 tamed elephants taken into custody by the CID to their original owners. Following this order, steps were taken to release several tamed elephants at the Pinnavela and Udawalave Elephant Conservation Centers during the past 2 days to their original owners.
The COVID-19 vaccination drive in Sri Lanka continued in full force today.
The Health Ministry said over 40% of the country's population has been fully vaccinated. Deputy Director General of Health Services Dr. Hemanta Herath said the vaccination drive for university students can also be conducted smoothly. Several COVID-19 vaccination centers are in operation across the country today as well.
මතු කළ යුතු කාරණයක් තමයි ඉදිරියේදී අපේ රටේ වැඩි.
A fact that needs to be highlighted is that when the majority of the population was not vaccinated, there was a greater percentage of unvaccinated people among the deceased. But now, once the majority of the population got the vaccine, the percentage of vaccinated people dying also increased. In general, we are expecting a reduction in the number of deaths in the country. We believe that it will happen that way.
වීමක් අපි අපේක්ෂා කරනවා ඉදිරියේදී. අපි හිතනවා ඒක ඒ ආකාරයට සිද්ධ වෙයි කියලා.
A stock of narcotic substances known as ice, valued at 20 billion rupees, was seized during a raid conducted by the Special Task Force.
The Police Special Task Force said a suspect was arrested for the possession of a stock of synthetic narcotics known as ice, worth over 20 million rupees during a raid carried out in Vanavasala Road in Vappala. The STF had seized 1.6 kilograms of ice substance from the suspect's possession. The Police Special Task Force added that the suspect was handed over to the Police Narcotics Bureau for further investigations.
And that's a wrap of Lunchtime News on TV1 for today. To follow details of these stories and more, you can log on to our award-winning website www.newsfirst.lk and also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I'm Charlene Benedict, the News First team. Have a great day ahead.